Okay, I think we are getting started live now. Let's see. Yes, we are live. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. How's everybody doing this morning? Well, I have to say, it is a beautiful day in Sun Valley, Idaho. It's gorgeous out. And I'm curious, how are you guys? How's everybody doing? How is it where you are? Where are you at? I would love to know where you are watching from. Eastern Africa. Wow. Well, hello. And Facebook, if you're here, let me know where you're watching from. I think it's really fascinating to see how we can connect with each other from different areas. I think it's really amazing. Um, so, so when you guys are here, pop on, let me know that you are, coming to me live and where you're watching from. I think it's really interesting. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jennifer Luddington, and I am a high performance mindset coach. And I help you generate your own value centered life. And so, today we're going to be talking about a really cool concept. And if you're on Facebook, you're going to see the title. And the title today is Value Vacuum, and how this one thing can really start to be the detriment of your intimate relationships, right? So, so this is what I want to talk to you guys about. This is really interesting because, you know, I I'm married. My husband and I are two different people. And the interesting thing is that when you are in an intimate relationship with someone, I think the downfall really comes from not understanding your own unique core values and your partner's unique core values and your shared values. And so I think that what happens is when you not only don't understand the differences in your core values and how that actually, gives you a different operating system or belief system or ways of behaving, right? It causes this vacuum where you get sucked down this hole of we're not right for each other, we're not in alignment, we're not congruent. But the interesting thing is that you can find the congruency in your values and create not only your individual unique core values, right? You can understand your partner's unique individual core values, and they don't have to be the same as yours, but you can also look deeper, another layer, and find the congruent values, right? So let me tell you a little story to help this, really drive this point home for you. And then I'm going to actually teach the principle how to do that and how to really release the things that aren't serving your relationship so that you can focus on your unified value vision as a family unit or as a unified unit and how to create that. It's really magical when you can because you honor the other person's autonomy, you honor your own values, and then together you create this unified value vision, which becomes your center focused point for your family's vision, which some people call goals. I call it vision. I like that word better. So let me tell you a little story about my husband and I. And this is something that comes up, and you guys tell me if I'm incorrect, but finances are a big vacuum in marriages, in intimate relationships, in partnerships. If you're sharing a life together, am I right? Finances can become friction and they can rub people the wrong way. But I find that when I'm coaching my clients and we look at each individual person in the partnership's values, their core values, you can usually find some congruency. But I'll tell you a little bit about my husband and I and how we have our values centered around finances or money, which is a big topic, right? And this can cause a lot of friction and rub in intimate partnerships and relationships. So I want to share this story with you because I think you'll understand what I mean in this conceptual form. So, money's a touchy subject, right? And as a woman, money to me is security. A lot of women out there, I know you can relate to that, right? Money to you is security, it's safety, it helps you feel like you can nest and be at home and do all of the nurturing things that women are really, just drawn to evolution wise, right? And that makes me feel really good. When I know I have finances, and it makes me feel super safe and secure. And one of my values is security, right? That's really important to me, is I need to be secure, not only in my marriage, but in my relationships with other people, secure in my home environment, secure in my health. It's very important to me, right? So my husband's values around money, but I didn't know this in the beginning, right? We had to discover this together. His values around money is, because I like to save money, right? It makes me feel secure when I have a nest egg. Nesting women, it's kind of part of it, right? That's where that term comes from. And so when I have a little nest egg that makes me feel safe and secure, I feel really, really good in that money quadrant of my values, right? And so my husband, on the other hand, his safety and security doesn't really come from finances. I didn't know this, I just assumed, right? And so his safety and security, or his value around money, is creating experiences, right? It's not to save and keep it, right? His idea of money and being in alignment with his values around money are to create experiences with it, adventure with it, right? And that to him creates connection, right? Well, for me, guys, right? For me, security and safety creates connection with my family. Because when I'm safe and secure, my family can be around me and comfortable and nested up and happy and together. My husband, on the other hand, right? He's like, well, let's create connection by spending money and creating experiences. So the interesting thing here is, if we didn't go deeper, right, if we didn't go deeper into our values, I would think that he's frivolous with money, and he would think that I'm a hoarder. But really, if we look deeper at that together, our core value is connection. That's an overarching theme, not only in the finance department of our home life and our value quadrants that I use with my clients, and I'm actually going to give you for free. In that money or career quadrant, that's the security and safety is important to me, and experiences is important to him. But both of them bring us connection, which is a unified value vision. We want to create connection in our family. We just have different ways to go about it. So if we didn't look deeper at that to understand that unified value that we both share, we would be creating friction like this and fighting about money. So what we get to do instead is honor each other's core value, which is connection. And then through this money, through the through line here with money, right, is that he gets to honor the fact that we have a certain amount of money that I like to keep as a nest egg. And I get to honor the fact that on a yearly basis, we create a very connected experiential time and spend some money, right? So what happens then is, instead of creating this rub or this disconnect where we're both circling the drain, we're frustrated with each other, and there's resentment that creeps in, right? Instead of that happening, what actually happens is we honor each other's values in that area. We set up a plan to honor them and respect them. And then we have a plan to unify the core value of connection together. Does that make sense? So I think where people might go wrong, and if this is something that you're struggling with right now, in your relationship, or if you just had a fight last night with your husband over the checkbook, or something like that, this is a really good opportunity for you to start to dive in deeper so that you can learn where you are aligned in your values, right? And I think that's really, really important. So, and it creates such a more like just aligned vision, and like this powerful team unity towards creating this shared vision, and ours is connection, right? Okay, so and also my husband is more of an extrovert than I am, right? I don't like always labeling people in different ways, but he really gets his values are really like connecting with people and groups and experiencing things with them and sharing this like lively energy. And my way of connecting with people is on a more intimate level. It's on a more introvert, if you're going to kind of like label it that way. Good morning, you guys. Hi, over there on Facebook. Hi, Tiffany. Hi, Isidro. So what I mean is, look, we both want to connect. Again, it's that core value of connection. But his way of connecting, right, I get to honor, because his is adventure and boisterous and really being out there and experiencing all these things, and mine is very different. Mine is being in a very confined environment. Like I like a very intimate setting where I can connect with someone one-on-one. And sometimes being in a huge environment like that drains me and I can't connect. Whereas in that intimate setting, I can really dive deep and really connect with people and get to the juicy stuff, right? Or we're not talking about weather, we're like really diving into things that really matter. And so because I know that about my husband, I know that that is his way of connecting. I get to honor that. And again, we come to an agreement, right? Where we say, okay, every other month we go out and we celebrate big with, a big group of friends or people or family, and we do those big events. Whereas, maybe he understands that, every week or every month I need that one-on-one time with him or with my girlfriend, and he honors that. We both know that we have the same value of connection. It's just we get there. The mechanism to get there is different. And that, right, value vacuum you can go down if you don't see the bigger picture is where the friction and the rub comes in your partnerships and in your relationships. But if we start to understand those core intrinsic values are similar and can be aligned, the mechanism of getting there, meaning the road you take to get to that core shared value, can be different as long as you honor that about the other person, right? So we talked about how money, Jason and I, my husband and I, have different ways of using money to connect. Like for me, it's safety and security, and that when I have a safe, secure home, I think I can be home with my kids and nurture them and it's safe. He thinks of it as if we spend money and we create these adventures, those experiences create connection, but we're both after the same value, right? But on the surface, it might look like we're not. But until you layer and dig deeper down and you understand that core overarching theme of connection, you don't get that. And then you have the rub and it vacuums you down into this dark hole where you circle the drain and you get into resentment over money or, what you guys want, how you want to spend your leisure time, right? And you resent the other person because you feel like they're not in alignment with you when in reality they are, right? So if you really want to learn how to do this with your partner or with your family. And on Friday, I'll talk a little bit more about how to do this with your family, because we do that with our family too. So my husband and I have our own set of values, right? And there are some values that are quite different, but there are overarching core values that are the same, right? So our unified value vision as a family, right? His and I together, we have this same value vision, right? Which some people will call a value-centered goal. Right? Same thing. I like the vision word better. So we have that there, and we know that what we're doing is creating that unified vision, right? However, I have my own value-centered vision plan, my ascendment plan, which is my own set of values that don't involve my husband. He respects mine, I respect his. We have one together that we work on together congruently, right? And so if you are trying to figure out what that looks like for your family, and if you're trying to live a more value-centered, authentic life that doesn't leave you feeling overwhelmed or frustrated or discontent or living in resentment or spinning the hamster wheel, that's how you do it. That's how you do it, okay? So let's go back to this one more time. First things that you want to do is you want to understand that the rub is usually not because you don't share the same value. The rub is that you're not respecting the other person's mechanism on getting there or taking the time to understand it, okay? So that's number one. Number two is that if you're trying to create a unified family vision or value-centered vision plan, you really have to dig deeper into your own values independently and then find the ones that are congruent and understand that those overarching congruent themes can be your family's or your unified value-centered vision together, right? And number three is give yourself some grace here. And when, and I say that tongue in cheek because it's easier said than done, right? But when you're in that moment and you feel like you're fighting against something that's rubbing you, that's sending you into that vacuum, take a step back and say, okay, what is the main goal that we're both after? Usually it's the same thing, It's just you're getting there in a different way, and you're not understanding the other person's way or mechanism of getting there. Okay, but it doesn't really matter the mechanism you take, right? That's what I teach a lot in my leadership courses and in my She Ascends program is that women, especially women, we think, and I know ladies, I'm sorry, this is part of it, I'm just being really vulnerable here. We think our way is always best a lot of the times. And we think we've got it all figured out, but there's different ways. There's different ways to get from point A to point B, right? There's a million different ways, in fact, right? You can run, you can walk, you can jump, you can fly, you can take a train, you can do all these different ways. But if you're after the same thing, it doesn't matter. And we have to let that go, right? Okay, so give yourself some grace around that and give yourself the permission to let that go. If it's not the way you think it should go, it's not the way you think it should look, or the mechanism isn't the way you think it should be. It's usually getting to the same end result. Okay. All right, guys, so that's what I wanted to share with you today. And like I said, if you do want that values to vision bullseye kind of like finder that I've created, it's a really nice tool to kind of start to flesh out your actual intrinsic core values and what they mean to you, and then have your partner. It's a good exercise. If your partner's willing to do it and look at their values, then you can kind of see the overarching themes and the core values that you both have that are the same to create that unified value vision together. And this is something that I teach in my programs, but it's definitely something I teach with my one-on-one clients also. So I'll pop the link here in Facebook. If you want it, you can download it. It's free. And then Instagram, if you do want that free PDF download, I can send you a message with it, the link. Just send me a DM and I'm happy to send it over to you. All right, you guys, so Friday we'll talk a little bit more about how to create that with your family and get your kids involved. I've got 3 and they're teenagers, so it's not always easy, but I did start with my daughter early on, getting her thinking about these things, and we've been incorporating them into our family, and I'll show you how to do that